Hello, in this video we are going to study something related to strings in computer programs. A string contains a list of characters and this whole thing can be referred in a program with a single name. Then in programming terminology there is also a term called string literal. And we can say that when we write something like this, we write a string literal and we can use double quotation characters to make those string literals. In JavaScript it is also possible to use single quote characters to make the string literals, but I think that it's better to use the double quotation characters because they are used in many other programming languages. A string has a length, we will learn this, and it means simply that the length of a string is the number of characters stored into the string. And then there are string methods, and we will learn to use some of these methods. My name is Kari Laitinen and I already have a program, very simple program here, like this. Simple JavaScript Node.js program, and it just prints two strings, and now these strings contain just these new line characters. So inside the string, when we write a backslash and n, then we get a new so-called new line character, and that means that the text begins on a new line. And let's test this program. So you can't see anything clever there, it's just the new lines. But we can then define string variables like this. So this is, as I already said, that this can be said to be a string literal, and then this is a variable that refers to this string, and we can say that this string literal is the content of the string. And we can, for instance, we can do so that, let's make some space here, and if I write like this, if I write like this, I can print the string to the screen. So I will save this file and I rerun the program. Now the text is printed and you can see that there are some spaces here. So what happened is that this plus operator automatically joined the string referred by this name. It joined it to this string and then it printed the whole thing. So it is possible also that to access individual characters of a string. So that, for instance, this string that now we have set to refer to this content, we can think that it looks like this, and then each character inside the string has an index, just like in arrays. So that each character has an index, so that the index of the first character is 0, and the index of the second character is 1, index of the third character is 2, and so on. and also the space character has an index, so in this case it would be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and well, this would be 10 and this would be 11, and also this period has an index. And we can do in JavaScript just like in the case of arrays, that we can write an index value inside brackets after the string name, and if I write like this, I would put 3 there, and I will save it. So let's see what happens. So now it printed the S, and this is because now the index 3 is the index of this S there. And if I would put the index value to 12, it should print this period. Let's try it. So it printed the dot or the period. No, or is it the full stop, the English name for that? Okay, but so strings can be indexed just like arrays, and then this indexing returns a single character string. And strings also, they have lengths, and if I write like this, I will remove this thing here and I will write like this, then I can refer to the length of the string. So let's again save the thing and I rerun the program. So now it returned the value 13. So what happened here is that now this length property, it returns the length, which is a number, and then it converted this number to a string and joined to this other string here. And now the length of the string is 13 because there are 13 characters in the string, and always the index of the last character is 1 less than the length of the string. So, and then there are some string methods, so that you can create new strings from existing strings. And the string methods, well, you don't have to remember them, but you can always refer to documentation. And if we go to my site, naturalprogramming.com, and we go to this JavaScript page, then you have here a link to official string documentation, and there you can find a lot of explanation, but if you scroll the page you will find a list of string methods. Here. So these methods are documented here, so that there is this string dot prototype dot, and then there is the method name. So the first method is card. So this is actually, this method is the same as the indexing thing. So that, for instance, if I write like this, oh, let's put 2 there. If I write like this and I save the thing and rerun the program, you see that it printed this I there. So the reason for this is that this character has index 2 and I gave the index 2 to the char_add method. So this char_add method is simply just an alternative for writing the index inside brackets, but this way of writing, or then this way of indexing is, I think, better, because then you can this way of indexing is better because that is somewhat shorter notation. Okay, but let's take a look at some of the other methods. So there's one method is, let's take a look at this char code add, because let's test it. Like this, and I save the program and I again rerun it. Now it's printed 83. So I referred with, again I used an index here, and now the index is 3, so I referred to this character S there, and now it returned the numerical character code of this S, and we can always check that this is correct. So if we go to the main page of naturalprogramming.com then we go to this codes page, we will find the character codes, and the character code of uppercase S is indeed 83 as our program printed. So with this method you can, if you need, you can find the character code of a character. Well, then very usual method is indexOf. So with that you can check that if what is the index. So if you want to search for something in your text, you can find the index of that thing with this indexOf method, and it works like this. So indexOf, and if I would like to search for the text is there, I could, or if I would like to know the index of the word is in this string, I could write like this, and let's see what happens. So now it returns 2. Actually, I was trying to search for this, but now there is also here is an is. So it returned the first index of text is like this. So the index of this first text is inside this string is 2. Actually, we can now test the other method, because there is also another method named last index of, and that should return the last index of the specified string. So if I modify this like this, we should now get this value 5, but it's better to test it. Yes, it works. So the last index of searches from the end of the string and the indexOf searches from the beginning, starting from the beginning of the string. And well, let's see, let's go back to the indexOf method. And if I try to search for something that doesn't exist in the string, well, I put my name there. If I try to search for this, let's see what happens. So it prints -1, or it gets this index -1, and this means simply that this doesn't, the text curry is not included in the string. So with this, if you do some testing and you want to know if something is included in a string, you can always test that if the result is -1, then that means that other string is not included in the actual string. So there are actually quite many of these string methods. We can't test them all, but let's still take a look at the most usual methods. And I think one very common method is this substring. So that we want to take a substring from an existing string. So sometimes, well, I would like to take some part of this string, so I would write something like, let's test it. Let's do it like this. Now it gave me, the substring method gave me a substring that started from index 3. So it gave a string that goes from index 3 to the end of the string. And if I can give also more parameters to the substring method, and if I would write like 9 there, let's see what happens. Now it gave me a substring that started from index 3, and then it went to the index 9, but the character in index position 9 was not included in the substring. So with the substring method you can take part of a string. Well, let's take still one more method. So there are these methods. These are also very usual string methods, like to lowercase and to uppercase. So with these methods you can convert strings, the characters of a string, so that they are either lowercase characters or uppercase characters. And now in my test string all characters are uppercase characters, so I could convert them to lowercase with this to lowercase method. Let's try it. So it modified all the characters there, but it didn't modify the dot at the end. So these are string methods, and you will find in this list of methods you will find many more methods, but I think the most usual way to learn to use them is just to write a simple test program like I have done here and test how they work. And if you want to find more examples of programs that use strings, you can find in this list of programs you can find programs like string reverse, continents and capitals, which are in which string methods are in use. But I think that this was just an introduction to strings, and I thank you for your attention, and we'll meet in some other video. So thank you and goodbye.